Recording, very good. Welcome. May 6th, it is what time? A little bit late we started. It's almost 10 minutes of 6. This is the town meeting study committee.
I'll make a motion to open.
Thank you. Second, meeting is open unless there's a
All
discussion.
those in favor?
In favor, okay.
Aye.
Aye, very good.
Unanimous. There we go.
Meeting is over. We'll call to order. We've just done that. Now, what I'd like to do before we do anything is approval of the minutes from March 16th. I trust that you've all seen those.
I have one change on the meetings.
Oh.
I don't believe at paragraph 5B,
Okay.
I don't believe we agreed to further study the concept of Saturday meetings at this time.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
what I did is I took it upon myself to edit that and say, take no action regarding Saturday meetings. And then I've, made a copy. I'm happy to forward it with that amendment. Everything was good.
Okay, survey results with 400, let me just read it then. Survey results, number one, survey results with 421 participants is sufficient to use as the basis for public policy recommendation. Recommendation based on survey results is to recommend to the select board implementation of electronic voting. Another recommendation is based on survey results is to defer implementation of Saturday meetings. Agreement on that recommendation based on discussion and underpinned by consent of the committee without voting. The Joe D'Amore's presentation to the select board on March 16th was to establish that a non-binding ballot question or any other venue is not necessary to establish basis for public policy recommendation. That is the result. That is the survey results were sufficient. And now number 5, the central public policy recommendations are implement electronic voting. That's it. And we're not going to say and take no action.
Well, no, I edited that to, I think that's accurate now.
Oh, this is your
my edit. Yeah.
Okay, so the central public policy recommendations are A, implement electronic voting, and B, take no action regarding Saturday meetings.
Exactly so.
And we decided we're not going to continue studying it.
Right.
Okay.
Can we all vote on the meetings as amended?
Absolutely. I move that we approve the meeting minutes.
I'll
from March
second.
Second, any discussion?
None?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Tonight could be or should be the final meeting.
Modified
of the
one.
Committee.
I'll post it.
Thank you so much.
for posting. So we're gonna, discussion on, Joe D'Amore's presentation of select board on March 16th is on the agenda. The next item is discussion, decision by the select board to accept and fund electronic voting. We're also going to talk about review of final report draft, which is here. In-person meeting edits, modifications, in case we need to make that, right here live. If we need to make changes to this final draft, we'll probably try to do that tonight. So let's go to the discussion on March 16th. As you know, based on your guidance, I was able to make a preliminary recommendation to the select board. I was surprised, but maybe I shouldn't be surprised. I was surprised that they accepted our recommendation before we submitted a final report. I think that's a testimony of the fact that this is a great team and they trusted the work that we did. Behind the scenes, great work on the data, amazing, the data crunching, great design of the survey. Thank you, Alyssa. And wonderful writing partner here, Patrick, to put this together. But we basically made a case for electronic voting, yes, and a case for let's hold off on Saturday meeting. And the select board have actually made that decision. So that's kind of exciting. So nothing to vote on, just to make that public. However, we do have the next item here, and that is the review of the final draft. We've all, for the public, we've all had an opportunity to review a few draft versions. We received the final draft finalized by Patrick this afternoon. We read it in the last, several minutes. I read it this afternoon. I shared it with everyone. Does anyone have any questions, concerns, or most importantly, anything that we should edit or modify with what's been presented thus far?
I just had one on page two, the third one. It says the TMSC gave several months for the survey results to filter in. I'm just curious if we should be more specific or if there was a reason. I didn't know
I
that there's
think-
often a lot
right.
of questions, right?
No, 100%. I mean, I don't mind better specificity. Off the top of my head, I don't know exactly how long the survey was out.
Yeah.
Jen would probably have a better gauge than me.
Put it out in August, right? It was late,
Yeah,
mid,
so it's
late
late
August,
August,
so
and then-
September, October, November, December.
To
I'd
early-
say January, we decided to wrap it up,
I
right?
thought February was when we did data, so approximately 6 months.
So
Yeah.
Next month.
And so then if people go back,
Approximately 6 months is a fine edit, and I have no problem with it whatsoever.
just so,
Better specificity is better. No,
Right.
no qualm.
That's a
question
really
there.
good point, yeah.
Approximately 6 months. That's a
Yeah.
good, that's true.
You know, because it was a successful survey
Mhm.
and we produced 421 results.
Mhm.
And then,
401.
and you know, when I went to the meeting, when I presented, prior to March 16th, you know, the select board said, you know, we want to have at least 300 or 400 people.
Oh, it was 400.
And it was 400. I said, okay, we were fortunate enough that we did get that result. And that really did cancel the non-binding ballot question, let's throw out another net to see what people think. I just hope that 150, 160, 170 people will come to the meeting next year, have a good turnout like we had this year. And I hope that they will really be enthusiastic and amenable to using the electronic devices should they be there
Yeah.
for our use.
And shout out to Alyssa for getting this out because the vast majority of responses in this survey were from the COA, combined survey. And had that not existed, we would be sitting with statistic insufficiency and things like that. So that's really good, helpful information, and it should signal that we should be reminded in all these sorts of situations that don't forget about the COA because really important constituents of this town. They get out there, they work, they vote.
Yeah, they're a good voting bloc and they're active and
100%.
and reliable.
And active at town meeting, all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. So,
The other thing that one concern I had, and it didn't happen, is I thought I would hear people tell me or send me messages that, well, I did take a survey. I took the COA. There wasn't any confusion. People sat for the COA survey
Mhm.
and people sat for the town meeting survey. And I realized that a lot of the people are the same, but we got what we needed on our official track of our town survey, not to be confused with the COA survey to base our decision on. So our decision was made on 421 people responding to the town's survey
Mhm.
on the issue of Saturday meetings and electronic voting. But thankfully, we had the other track that had preceded it, and people, I think maybe the town was primed to address this question. Should we go with electronic voting? Should we do Saturday meetings? So it worked out really well. I was happy about that.
I didn't have any other edits.
Emilio, did we present? Yeah, we took 700,000 hours of your work and distilled it down about 20 words. Did we do a good job?
That all looks good. It all looks accurate. So,
one thing that I will say that I think is important when, whatever form of the report that goes forward, when I made the data itself into an exhibit, it's very tiny for reading. So I would suggest that however this gets submitted, that a digital file of, the actual data gets submitted with it, because then you could look at it and in a more, I can see these words.
Right.
Yeah. And possibly even if it's in a spreadsheet so that it could be moved. It's challenging for me. But that was enhanced.
I bet.
It was even smaller when I printed it out initially. So, but I would want it for the select board to be able to use it a little bit in the sense of, maybe they want to look at the data in some different ways or, sort it differently. So having the actual spreadsheet or at least, the file so they can look at it and zoom it in. Either of those things, should be part and parcel to what we submit.
I guess my question, not an edit, is just what is the bylaws? That's
So that's the town meeting bylaw. And the reason so what I did in the document itself, you'll see in various parts, it'll say a copy is attached as exhibit A, right? That's the thing, whatever, and each time I do it, I underline that so you can see, okay, so for example, a copy of the data is attached as exhibit B, a copy of the complete current
Yeah.
bylaw is exhibit C.
I think I just.
So-
That's.
And
Because the reference, I think, for this part was the
What
fact
about the
that
voting that,
the day,
that we
right?
don't
Right.
have,
The
there
day
doesn't
part.
need to be a.
Right, so in
Bylaw
the, in the meat of the writing, I put the part of the bylaw that is
Yes.
the central thing that's important. But I wanted to have the whole bylaw, so somebody doesn't think I'm twisting the words. You can look at the whole thing and say, oh, well, maybe we need to amend the bylaws. The select board might be interested in seeing things like that.
Okay.
And
I just.
similarly, I usually have disdain for putting in footnotes.
We were.
But I mean, I think, what I don't want is the footnote to distract from the main part of what we're doing, but there are some things that are interesting, noteworthy kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure I included them to the best of me. It is sort of a byproduct of writing like a lawyer that some of this stuff looks like that.
Yeah,
And just so the public knows, the select board have decided that they would like to pursue electronic voting based on our recommendation. Now we're gonna submit a formal report, to kind of pin that down. I'd like to present that to the select board and answer any questions. But at town meeting, they did approve a line item of, was it $10,000?
$10,000.
That was available from, I'm not sure what the source was. And it
I
was,
thought that was what the vote was that Ed Watson made the motion that $10,000 would be included in the budget for the electronic.
for the
voting.
$10,000.
But I didn't
For the-
hear any
It-
other select
So
board vote.
it got to the town warrant
Yeah.
as part of the budget.
The
And at
10,000.
the town meeting, someone did try to cut it and made a motion which failed.
Right,
Right.
So, and then the budget passed.
sure.
So to my understanding, and the select board can correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand that there's $10,000 allocated.
There is
for this particular
10,000,
purpose.
yes, there is
It has been-
10,000 there for that, but I'm just saying, I don't know that I ever heard the select board vote to go with the electronic voting.
They indicated to me on March 16th that it wasn't a formal vote, but they were in favor of it. And that's when the issue of coming up with money, which surprised me.
Sure.
On March 16th, they said, oh, we even know where we can get the money.
Right,
So they still have to formally vote
right,
for
right,
it.
right, yes,
Okay.
They have the money available.
yes, it's in the.
And most importantly of all, I think we all know this, but I want to be clear with the public, they have to go through the normal procedure for bid, procurement.
Right.
They have to put out bids and.
What I will say is, based on Jen's research, I put in the report that this committee recommends, even though, the town can do, what they need to do, and they certainly have to do what they have to do.
Sure.
But we recommended that they use Meridia as the supplier based on, sort of analysis of what you found when you did your digging.
Yeah.
And obviously they'll do some of that too. And one of the exhibits, exhibit D, is
As the. clo-
has the sort of, this was the pitch for Meridia, this is some of the comps, and this is some of the things that you did to check. So it'll at least give them a leg up, so they don't have to start from, from whole cloth to
Yeah.
determine what they want to do. But again, their choice to make their decision, but, we wanted to try to kind of help things along and give just this is what we found when we did this stuff.
But you gave them a good push. I mean, you did the research and now it's just a matter of,
Yeah.
literally, it's just a matter of calling. They know who to call and what the numbers are
Yeah.
and bring them in and get bids and,
Well, and make sure they follow the procedure and
Yeah,
whatnot,
they're gonna-
but based on this, the mix of cost and services seemed to be pretty clear that was
Yeah.
the way to go.
Yeah,
just for the public's understanding, can we talk a little bit about why Saturday is not going to be right for this town? Saturday meeting.
on March 16th.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
said that, and then, as we also mentioned that not right at this moment.
Yeah, at the moment. okay.
Not forever, but the whole, what we were basing our decisions on, at least that I thought, was we were gonna have a survey and we were gonna hear what people of Groveland thought. And 421 stood up and said, this is what we think. And it was pretty strong, it was a pretty strong indication against moving it anyway, because the downside possibility of losing people who were otherwise come was greater than the upside
Yeah.
of people who said they would come that didn't come.
Yeah,
And it was by about half. So it was significant. Whereas with the electronic voting, it was about like a 10% gain, with the voting and a potential like 1.46% down. So there was a very low risk and a very high reward. And on the Saturday voting, there was a very high risk and a very low reward. So the reason we came out different ways was because the data supported different ways. And we are the mouthpiece of the people of Groveland and not just a group of 5 people who want to do what they want to do. Right. So I think basing our decisions on what we found from the people from a very well put together survey that was very well disseminated and with data that was very well called, leads us to, I think, a very good conclusion. And it seems that the select board is already receptive to it, is already funded what they need to fund so they can effectuate it. The little icing on the proverbial cake is our very own chair is going to be the moderator, so he's going to have the discretion in the 2027 meeting, if this stuff is purchased by then, to decide whether to use it or not.
Right.
So, I think it's a really nice line of clear decisions made with good data and, very supportable.
I think the
votes.
people that will come to the meeting are gonna be very receptive to it, because they're, I'm sure they're part of the respondents that said, yes, we need this.
Yeah.
We need the privacy. We like the efficiency. We like the results will end up on a screen instantly. I think it's wonderful. I think it's a wonderful step in our evolution as a town. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And I do want to call out that on the Saturday meetings part, as part of the report, Patrick had also written in the footnote how another piece that was not mentioned was right now, according to our bylaw and Exhibit C, I believe it is, that we would need to change the bylaw because it states the day that it needs to be on as of right now as well. So that's another complication of the Saturdays, is that not only did the data not support it, but it would be not so trivial to actually execute.
And the other piece, which is also in the footnote, that the regional school committee, the other
Right.
towns would have to also agree to it.
Yep.
And if Groveland doesn't agree to it, then how can we expect Groveland and whatnot?
So that's important for the public to understand. If we had the data that people really wanted Saturday, we couldn't plunge into it immediately, because now we would have to persuade the other 2 towns to meet on Saturdays as well because of the regional agreement.
So
Yeah.
if the data showed
Mm.
that that's what they wanted, then we would have stated that and asked that we continue to move
Right,
forward.
exactly. So I think that's 100% correct. If the data had been different,
Yeah.
then the result would have been different, and the recommendations would have been to proceed with, okay, how would we go about changing the bylaw? Are we allowed by, is there a state or federal problem? Are there problems with other localities? And so, but
So I think
you
that's
don't
all-
get there because the data doesn't get you there.
Right.
And it was pretty strong against with a sample size that we thought was pretty.
Yeah, for
significant.
sure. If the data supported it in a big way convincingly, I would make a commitment to go to those 2 towns and go on a promotion
Sure.
and try to persuade them and go through a series of meetings.
So in summary, it seems like we're all set with this one.
Does anyone have anything that they would like to add or change?
No,
No,
Thank
All right.
you.
it's great.
No,
Thanks for
You did a great job on those stuff. I've incorporated things that everybody had done and written, so it's really, really team success.
So could I have a motion to approve the final report as amended?
Approximately 6 months, yeah.
Approximately 6
Agreed.
months. Do I have a motion?
I move that we accept the report as amended.
Any further discussion?
We need a second.
I'll second that.
Second, any further discussion?
I have none.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous. Okay, very good. Any other issue? I would like to present an issue. This is sort of at the end of 2 things. Number 1, do I have your consent to present this to the board,
To the select board?
select board?
Of course.
Okay, I'd like to, represent our town committee, town study committee. Also, can I have your consent, unless you might agree to do something in a few minutes, but This will complete our charge because we had until June, so we can close down operations unless we continue the charge.
Yeah,
And now here is something that I want to float.
before we close our charge and meeting.
Yeah. I'm working with the Massachusetts Town Moderators Association. I am a member. I have a mentor. Mentor is the town moderator of North Andover, Mark DeSalvo. He actually co-authored the most recent and most relevant Town Meeting Times book, which I ordered. I am toying with the idea, and I just want to throw this out at you. I'm toying with the idea of presenting to town meeting next year an article with our rules on how town meeting is run, our own adopted town meeting rules, because we have bits and pieces of things.
Mm.
I think every book that I can probably find in this building is outdated. He actually told me, you need to throw out the book you have for town meeting. It's too old. It doesn't apply anymore.
Interesting.
So I'm toying with the idea because I've gotten bits and pieces of information. I did not have from my own performance, I did not have a successful evening throughout the whole evening. And I did struggle with some aspects of the meeting, but I'm getting better at understanding how to be better at the town moderator position, but I'd like to pin down the rules on how we actually do it here in Groveland. And I will have professional help to get that done. I would have 90% of it written between what I have already written and researched and what I can get. But I would love this team to help me put the finishing touches on it and create an actual article for next year.
So what I would say is
Tell me how you feel about
that
it.
concept is beyond the scope of this committee.
Right.
But once we close this committee, I think people would be receptive to hearing what you
Fair enough.
want to do and how you want to go about it.
Fair
I
enough.
mean, I can, I'll speak for myself and say, working with the four of you has been fantastic. And, that's not, I wouldn't be averse to working with you again, but I do think it's beyond the scope of what we're here.
What would you
to do.
for?
Yeah.
Fine, fair enough. Fair
But
enough. Thank you for that.
no, for sure.
Appreciate it.
Good. But with that, unless anybody has anything else, does anyone have anything else about what we're here to do?
All right, so we're gonna close out our
Let's make a
operation.
motion. I'll move to close our meeting and
Dissolve.
dissolve the town meeting study committee, which was formed June 1st, 2025. As of 6:13 PM on May 6th, 2026.
Sure, second that.
Second, any further discussion or concerns? No?
All those in
All
favor?
in favor?
Aye,
It's unanimous?
unanimous.
I'll write up those minutes. I'll get those submitted to you.
And let the, what do you do when the
How does that work? Yeah, when you,
committee dissolves, how do you approve your final minutes?
yeah,
Talk to Rebecca and ask her what she wants to
Yeah.
do. And if there's some dangling participle that needs to be done, then we'll reconvene the dissolved committee and then re-dissolve it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think, so you just need to share with Rebecca that we've dissolved the committee and then
Yeah.
the select board will officially do it at their
So,
meeting.
what I'm gonna ask is Patrick, at your earliest inconvenience,
Sure.
could you send the final?
I did.
You did.
Oh,
okay.
do you?
With the amendment.
Do you,
With the amendment?
Okay.
Just a PDF
Oh,
version?
yes.
do you,
Minutes?
I mean, no,
You have the minutes.
report,
The
Oh, the
report with
report.
the.
I mean, I think
With the
the
6 months.
only change is
Approximately
on
6
two,
months.
on page 2, the first paragraph in under sub
Section
3.
Yep,
The TMSC gave, cross out several, and insert approximately 6.
got it. Yeah, I can do that. I'll edit that tomorrow.
Okay, once I have that, you send it to me by PDF, and then what I'll do is I'm gonna send to the select board, say, by the way, in June, there's some important issues and priorities right now. So
Yeah.
sometime in June and July, could you invite me
Yeah.
to present our report?
Yeah,
And then at that point, at that point, I'm gonna pitch them an idea about a charge for adopting town meeting rules and creating another committee.
sure.
We'll do that, and I'll ask you guys if you would like to get involved with that. We'll do that in the summer sometime.
All right.
All right,
Righty, so.
Very good. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.